love you? Do we hate you? Why should you care? 'Cause we're the best damn review team out there. It's time to rate that album.
Hi, and welcome back to Rate That Album, a back and forth album review between myself, Joseph Fremming, and my good friend, Paul Muad'Dib. Paul, are you too young to fall in love?
I'm just glad we're doing Hulk Hogan's Hulk Rules album this week, Joe. Because God, I really would hate if we were doing anything about Mötley Crüe, because that would just ruin my life right now.
Well, now you know how I felt with the traveling boot band, Paul. Being subjected to your assault of wrestling knowledge.
Dude, you knew more than I did. Go back and listen to that thing. You knew more than I did.
Yeah, I shouldn't have. I shouldn't have known more than that, Paul.
No.
I should not know any of that shit.
You shouldn't. You shouldn't. The fact you're correcting me, I was going, fuck, I'm ill prepared.
So this week we are doing Mötley Crüe Shout at the Devil. And
No, we're
here's
No, go
the
ahead.
story is we're doing the traveling boot band.
Thank you.
And I was so discombobulated from laughing so hard that I just went on my Amazon album recommendations. It was the first thing I saw.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I was just like, I needed to pick something. Like my brain froze because I had another album in mind, but I couldn't remember it because, the sushi and everything. So I landed on Shout at the Devil, and it's just a little inside ballpark for our listeners. This is probably the most polarizing between me and Paul of any album we've reviewed. Because Paul hates it, and I fucking love it.
Okay, I am so glad we're getting this out on air because I wasn't sure if you were fucking with me. Because
No.
I'm like, oh no, we're gonna get on the air and we're gonna do the podcast, and he's gonna come out and he's gonna say, I was just fucking with you this whole time.
I am not fucking with you.
Oh,
yeah, this was
Son of a bitch, this is gonna be a real. Yeah, this is then our most polarizing. This will be interesting, Joe. All right.
Yeah, well, it's we're not always going to agree, Paul.
True.
And but this was one of those where I was pleasantly surprised and you were unpleasantly horrified.
So angry right now, dude. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm so angry.
I think it's just you're jealous because, you can't honk the horn on your boat with your dick like Tommy Lee, Paul.
Dude, okay, there is that. I'm not gonna lie. There is that in the back of my mind going, man, if I he can do that really. I never saw the stuff. Can he really do that?
It's on the sex tape.
Oh my god, yeah, I never saw it.
He either honks the horn with it or he's able to steer the boat with it. Either way, it's pretty impressive.
Oh my god, no, I just had this image of this dude trying to fucking steer a boat with his dick. That is impressive.
He does it, Paul.
He fucking parks the boat with his cock. Good for him. Bravo, bro. Those are some good genes.
Yeah.
Does he use his cock as a third stick on the drums?
I wouldn't be surprised if he did.
It's probably a party trick at private shows. All right, go on.
I don't think it needs to be private shows. Tommy Lee, I've just noticed he's been getting flagged on Instagram for he's just putting nude photos of himself.
The guy's 60. What the fuck is he doing?
He's living life to its fullest.
Oh God!
A little
80s. Go on.
Backstory on Mötley Crüe here,
Yeah.
Paul, before we jump in. They are LA band. Started in 81.
The year you
Really like a weird ragtag crew of guys. You had Nikki Sixx. He's kind of like the guy who started it. He was really into punk scene and the burgeoning metal scene in LA. Tommy Lee. He finds Tommy Lee. They recruit Tommy Lee's old classmate, Vince Neil. And there's this old guy that goes to auditions named Mick Mars. Mick Mars is an interesting guy.
You've talked about him on other podcasts. I know a little bit about it.
Yeah, he's got a lot of health issues. I like him as a guitarist. I think he's, he's not flashy or super great or anything, but he does what needs to be done. But he has like this disease, Paul, where his spinal columns fuse together over years. So like for the last 45 years, he's been slowly just in a constant state of pain.
Jesus.
He just left their like Kiss and all these other bands, their farewell tours go on for 20 years. Mötley Crüe is no different, but they just replaced him with John Five, who was from Marilyn Manson and Rob Zombie.
Yep.
So yeah, there's controversy in that because I went down a rabbit hole, Paul, because I fell in love with this band with this album. In which you didn't.
I did. We'll talk.
We'll talk, but like, yeah, there's like controversy. Like, if the other guys pushed him out, I don't know. Like, he has his problems, and like they're touring with their shows are like on tape. Which, for people who don't know, they're basically lip syncing the whole thing. Because let's face it, like, Vince Neil's not going to hit these notes like he did in the 80s.
No, so I just want to a side note of that, because I meant to bring this up on another episode. I'm so glad you brought this up here. Honestly, at this point, it's not like it was with Milli Vanilli, like, and we'll get to that because at some point we are going to do Milli Vanilli probably this season. But if you watched, there was a Rock and Roll Hall of Fame where they inducted Yes, and all these people told the lead singer of Yes, like, let's get a stand-in for you. Let's get a stand-in for you. And he's like, no, I can do this. And it's terrible. And it's really sad. So, yeah, I mean, I see nothing wrong with them lip syncing.
Yeah, and, basically at this point, a Mötley Crüe show is like a Kiss show. It's the spectacle. Like, they have the huge, Tommy Lee's and the drum kit spitting in the sky, up in the ceilings and shit. Like, it's you're going for the show. Like, I saw Guns N' Roses a few years ago. They weren't using tape, which was great because I think Slash is one of the, top
so good
guitarists. Yeah, he's just phenomenal.
So good.
But Axl's voice is just, and like, it was kind of painful at times because I was like, the whole time, I'm like, why doesn't he just sing at a lower register? Just stop trying to hit the high notes and just put it in a lower key, maybe? That's what a lot of acts do when they get older. They just go into a lower key so the singer can adjust. So. That's
very, very, very common that they'll go down a half step, a whole step, drop a tune. A lot of bands will do that even when they're young, because when you're in the studio, I mean, again, having done stuff in the studio, you can do things in the studio, having recorded music in the studio that you can't do live. So there's a lot of times where you're changing things when you are, like, you're recording, like, man, that's great, but then you look at each other and go, we're good, but we can't do that live. So there's a lot of bands that already, like, right away in their prime, are still doing exactly that.
Exactly. So there might have been like things with Mötley Crüe that, I mean, you've seen the videos of Vince Neil when they weren't using tape, and it was bad. Like,
yeah, I didn't see the tape. I don't touch screw with a 10-foot pole, bro. I don't. But go on.
I think they learned. Like, yeah, this is, people don't want to hear that. So.
No, I mean, but here's the thing. They okay. You going back to Guns N' Roses, man. The disaster in Rio, bro. I mean, it is what it is, and people need to understand that again, even me, there's songs that I've written and sang 20 years ago that I've kind of gone back because there's lost recordings and things like that, and I've tried to re-record and sing those things, and I go, fuck. I cannot hit the notes that I did when I was 19, 20, 21, 22. It just happens. I mean, fucking Mick Jagger, this guy, he is notorious for, we should have talked about this during our Rolling Stones album, where he does like an hour a day of like vocal exercises, and they're still adjusting songs that they did years ago to accommodate where his voice is now.
Yeah, and we talked about that. I forget which episode. We did talk about that, so that's why I didn't bring it up for the...
Oh, gotcha, okay.
Because we already... Maybe it was with the U2 or something.
Maybe it was. Yeah, maybe it was. Okay.
But yeah, so... Now, there's a lot of controversy, and with this band, Nikki Sixx is notorious for starting shit fights on Twitter with other more established artists. Like he tried to start a feud with Lars Ulrich that went nowhere. It was just amazing. But they also have like these incredible stories. I remember watching their behind the music. They had probably the most fun behind the music in like the late 90s, early 2000s I'd ever seen.
Really?
Yeah, like they're talking like these guys were just so fucking fucked up, Paul. Like they ran out of heroin, so they'd mainline Jack Daniels.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's phenomenal. Yes.
On tour with Ozzy, they tried to outdo each other. So Ozzy would snort ants.
I remember that. I knew the snorting of the ant story. Yes.
Yeah, but did you know like Ozzy also drank their piss?
No, that I didn't know.
Yeah. So and some of this was recreated. I watched a provocative movie the other day. It was called The Dirt, starring the guy who played Ramsey Bolton in The Chair.
Yeah?
Yeah, it was basically their biopic. And it kind of like went over some of that, but it was more interesting hearing them tell the stories because movies, I mostly hate biopics.
I do too.
They're the most... The Queen one really rubbed me the wrong way.
Well, and
I think we went over that too.
We did go over that and just how I have a huge problem with biopics. I do.
I'd rather just watch a documentary on the band.
Me too.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, these guys are like, Vince Neil drunk driving and killed the drummer from Hanoi Rocks and shit like that. Like these guys were like a fucking mess in the 80s, man. Like
I shouldn't laugh, but fuck, man.
Yeah, they were nuts, man. Like, so when it comes to like hair metal in the 80s, like for me, there's like the Poisons, and then I think there's like the ones that have a little more rough around the edges and like were a little bit more legitimate. And I would say like under that umbrella would be like Mötley Crüe and Guns N' Roses because like they walk the fucking walk, man. Like I'm surprised any of them are alive, especially poor Mick Mars with his fucking cement spine.
So I want to talk about that because I actually know a guy that had that, and he was older, and like they basically told him like you were never gonna. Now he passed away several years ago, but I worked on a project with this gentleman. He was an inventor, and I was actually doing advertising for him and videos and things to help him with his project, and he would literally do 1,000 sit-ups a day to build up the muscles in his stomach to hold his spine so he could walk, so he didn't have to be in a wheelchair. That's how hardcore this dude was, and just eccentric. True fucking story, man.
That's like just how horrible this disease is. I mean, Mars from what I came across, like, it was just chemicals, heroin and booze to dull the pain. Like, it's pain at that level, they're not even drunk.
No,
it's just numbing it.
It's just numbing it. Mm-hmm. Yeah. You get to a point and people don't understand that with like some serious chronic illnesses, they're not doing the drugs anymore to get fucked up. They're doing the drugs because that puts them at a level where they can function. Yeah. And that's a very real thing that people don't like to discuss about when it comes to drug use. But that is one of the major factors for drug use.
Yeah.
Is pain management.
Opioids are huge.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right, so we're talking about Mötley Crüe.
Oh, hang on. Before that, I want to get into how I know about the Crüe. I don't. Go on, Joe.
Oh, you never heard of them? Well, you see, they're a band from California, making up Nikki Sixx. He was
L.A., right? I heard L.A.
Yeah, they're an L.A.
No,
band. You want me to go over what I just did, Paul? I can do it again in case you didn't pick up.
No, I will say I never got into the Crüe. People did. 80s rock for me is up there with country in terms of it is really, really polarizing for me. I either absolutely adore it and the band or the song, or I can't fucking stand. Like, there's no middle ground. It's like zero. It's 0 to 55. You're talking to Sammy fucking Hagar. I just struggle really, really hard with 80s quote heavy metal rock, and I think it's because I listen to it and I go, really, this is heavy? Like, this is, and we'll talk about that as we get in these songs, but please continue,
Yeah,
Joe.
well, I mean, music evolves. I mean, what was heavy in the 80s and 70s are, would be, a lot of it would be considered hard rock now, but back then that was heavy. It was, because it was different. It was like, there was not a lot.
But there was,
you have to remember the progression. Like, Black Sabbath stopped making metal music in the mid 70s.
correct. And I get that, but there was punk, which I felt was heavier in a way than some of these things. You did have some of those stuff like Henry Rollins and some of the scream band. Again, they weren't mainstream. I think my big problem, even at the time, was it felt very safe. D. Schneider once said, Bon Jovi and some of these things kind of came in and glorified rock, and everything kind of became this revamp of what I would consider glam rock, right? Where it was the pearly white teeth, this and that, blah, blah, blah. And it just feels to me, even then, even like in the 80s and in the 90s, it felt really just it manufactured, and like I would sit there and I'd be like, these guys aren't feeling what they're saying. But that's me. That's me.
And there's a lot of that too, because it, like, every popular wave of a genre, there are a ton of that. Like, if you remember the 90s, there were so many Nirvana knockoffs that was flabbergasting. Any band from Seattle was getting album deals. Yeah, like, I get it. Like, it's not for everybody, but for some reason it spoke to me, Paul, and I loved it, and you hated it, and that's amazing. Like, you were like messaging me like nonstop, and
I did not believe you. I did not believe you, Joe, that you liked this album. So
you were getting so mad.
I was convinced that you were fucking with me.
I kept telling you to quit being silly.
I know, and I'm going, dude, just admit you hate this album. Just give me my sanity. And
nope, that's not happening, Paul.
It's not fucking happening. This is happening right now. Okay, Joe. Yeah, so we're doing. This is their second album, you were saying?
Yeah, sophomore album. Their first album, Too Fast for Love, was more inspired by punk, I would say. It's a lot faster. So this is a band that was inspired by, the metal scene and a lot of like the glam rock of like the Bowies and T-Rexes, and it's like this Led Zeppelins and shit like that. So it comes to their second album, Shout at the Devil, which, they're being fucking edgelords with this shit. It pissed off. Paul, would you be surprised if this album pissed off a lot of conservatives in the 1980s?
If I remember correctly, wasn't one of these songs, and it wasn't Shout at the Devil, was actually talked about in the hearings.
It could have been, but
I'm pretty sure lyrics from this album were brought up, but I can't remember which song it was. And maybe it was Shout at the Devil, but it maybe was Bastards. I think it was Bastards, now that I'm thinking about it. I think lyrics from Bastards were used in the trial.
Yeah. I mean, it was, the original album cover had a pentagram. It's just like, they're like promoting Satanism and paganism and shit, and like, you got to give it to, they knew how to sell a fucking record.
They knew how to sell.
This album sold 200,000 copies in the first 2 weeks, Paul.
They knew how to sell an album.
Yeah. You ride that controversy, man. Like, there's a reason why Marilyn Manson did what he did. There's money in people being shocked. Although in this day and age, I don't see how people can be shocking anymore. Like,
unless you're problematic, you can't really be shocking.
Yeah, unless you're like going out there trying to get canceled or whatever.
Basically, that's the way you get it.
And that's going to be the next wave. That's what it's going to be.
It already is. It already is, Joe. Let's
I
be
don't
honest.
know. I don't pay attention to things.
I think it is. I think people are using canceled as a meme, as a means. Like look at Logan Paul and YouTube. But what are canceled YouTubers doing now? They're joining MMA. They're joining WWE. They're writing that shit. You're seeing
Russell Brand going all crazy right wing too. All of a sudden,
right?
Steve Bannon's Rumble.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, it is the new marketing wave. Is you gotta keep them going, and it's the shock value, and there is an escalation to it. You know what really sucks is I know Marilyn Manson's canceled for goddamn good reason, but what really pisses me off about that was in his height when he was doing all these things, and then he would go on and do these interviews. He was wildly intelligent and knew what he was doing, and he trapped the interviewers and would use their own logic against them. It was phenomenal. And then to find out the guy's a pile of fucking shit really hurts. Go on.
Well, he also like interviews after the 90s, like when he started like really getting into drugs, his brain turned to mush. I mean, it's just like
it did. It really.
So I'm not really shocked by that, but yeah, he at one point was a very intellectual guy, really smart guy. Now he's just a monster, just a terrible human being. But we're not here to talk about.
We're not here to talk about that as much as I'm trying to fucking stop this train. Go on.
Well, Paul, I mean, you got to stop being an elitist, all right?
Jeez, sorry, my pretentiousness bothers you.
You know, this isn't your coffee shop latte drinking Starbucks feel goodery. This is fucking butt rock from the 80s, man. Strap in. We're gonna talk about Shout at the Devil, Paul.
God damn it. All right, let's do this.
All right, so it starts with like a weird what would you call this, Paul? Kind of in the beginning part, an overture, not an overture.
It's not an overture. My
like
notes
it's like an intro.
My note that I have for this is worthless.
Yeah, this seems like something you would play like before the concert.
It's just
walking on stage.
It's just something where like you put the guitarist and a couple of the other members on stage first, so one starts it and then one pops in and the next one pops in. It's just I've actually done that technique before live, and it's just a way to get the crowd interested and going and pumped up. Yep.
Yeah, most people don't put it on the records, but
no.
But whatever, it's what it is. Like I'm not going to defend that track. It's just a bunch of sound and weird fucking biblical chaos shit. But then we jump into the song "Shout at the Devil," Paul.
Sure do, Joe.
God, I love this song, Paul.
Okay. So my notes for this is I will say this is a banger, even if you can't understand what the fuck Vince Neil's saying through half of it.
Well, that's every song Vince Neil sings. And I'm okay with that because the lyrics aren't that amazing, Paul. So he can mumble his way through it all. I'd be fine with that.
And you know me and lyrics when it comes to songs. It's just so for me. It was, I mean, there's things I want to know. Like, okay, you're talking about Shout, but what are you fucking saying? And it gets to the point where he's just like, hey, and I'm like, what the fuck? Okay, you lost me. Go on.
Yeah, no, I think it's catchy as hell, Paul. I love the drum and the shout. It's like an anthem, but it has nothing to say. And I'm all right with that. I don't need every song to tell me something, Paul.
The verse is, but Joe, this also hits a massive pet peeve of mine. Okay? Because verse 1 gets repeated twice. The whole end of the song is just them saying shout at the devil over and over, which again, I get the anthemness of it. I do get it. I will say, yes, I will concede and say, yes, this is a banger. This is by far and above the best song on the album. But that's not saying much when I compare it to the rest of the fucking album. But it wears out its welcome to me. It's just, even at 3 minutes, it feels long.
Not to me. It feels,
okay, and that's
the perfect length.
And that's fine, Joe.
Oh, Paul's gracing us from his high horse to say he'll concede something.
So, ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh, all right.
It's a good way to start the album, though. For an album like this is a good way to start it.
I would have cut out in the beginning. And
I would have cut that out too. This is just like,
yeah.
I don't know why. Like they do that on another album I listened to. I don't understand like the theme of that. I just don't. But whatever. In this day and age, I'm not listening to it on vinyl, so I don't have to sit through it. I can just skip over it.
Yeah. Nope. Yep. Nope. That's fine. I'm with you on that one. Next we get
Looks That Kill. It was a big hit.
How?
Well, it's catchy, Paul. That's for one thing.
Was it really? I don't think
it was
so.
Catchy.
I didn't. I just put down my notes for the song is Songs That Kill. I was really bored. There's Vince Neil's voice does nothing for me. I just the riffs, I don't dispute the fact that there is talent here. Like I don't want my snarkiness to come off as I don't recognize their talent, because I do. But the problem for me is it doesn't ever gel in a way that works for me. I hear 4 different talented things that just don't make a good stew, as we've talked about in the past. So Looks That Kill, I just did nothing for me. I was just waiting for the song to be over.
Well, I mean, I liked it a lot.
And what did you like? Please explain to me.
I like the chorus and like the hook and like everything about it. It just flows well for me, man. Like, I don't know.
All right. That's cool. And that's, like I said, I'm really trying to wrap my head around it because I know people love this band and they love their stuff. And I've just never been able to get into it. And honestly, I gave it a fair shot. I listened to it several times and I just was like, every time I was like, I don't understand it.
No, I mean, it's not for everybody, Paul. Like you kept saying to me, like, I don't get why people like this. And it's like, well, it's that why people like different things, man. I don't know. I don't have an answer for you. I like it. You don't. I don't.
Fair enough. I mean, I just want to get into, the lyrics. I mean, now she's bulletproof. She keeps her motor clean. And believe me, she's a number 13. The church strikes midnight. She's looking louder and louder. She's going to turn our juice boy. She turns on the power. I get what they're saying, and I understand it, and it's horny, and I should appreciate it, but I don't.
Yeah, and
okay, just saying the lyrics just didn't do anything. That's all.
I don't listen to this shit from the lyrics, Paul. Like Vince Neil is not like a Neil Young, man, or a Bruce Springsteen. I listen to different music for different reasons. This is one of these albums and shit. I'll listen at work, just to, like get me like some energy to like knock shit out and shit. Like I'm not like sitting around putting this on a record player and thinking about the lyrics.
Fair enough.
Whatever, man. Like these are just fucking dickhead party songs. There's not a whole lot to it. I think you might be overthinking it, Paul.
Fair enough. I mean, I probably am. I mean, head music has always been more my thing, I think. I mean, that's why I think with certain 80s bands, there's ones where I sit back and I go, wow, this is really good. And they're saying some stuff. And it just, I mean, yeah, okay. All right, so next we get Bastard, Joe.
Yeah, this is a rocking song.
I just put down bastards for making this.
Don't you try to rape me, Paul.
Yeah, you're the king of sleaze. Don't you try to rape me. And again, I mean, the chorus, you got me for about 3 seconds. I'll give it a little bit more than that. You got me. And it's not a long song. It's under 3 minutes, so I appreciate that. But literally, you got me for about 5 seconds of that with the chorus. And then it loses me again.
Yeah, that's fine, man. Like this, Paul. This this album's obviously not for you. Like Lindsey Buckingham wasn't obviously for me, man. We have different.
Absolutely. No, 100%. I'm just telling you my viewpoint, sir.
No, that's fine, man. You're getting all defensive. Was it because I called you an elitist?
I'm pretentious. I know that. I'll own it. I mean, how dare you offend my sensibilities, sir?
Yeah, you're like, God, Paul, sorry I offended your highfalutin sensibilities. You couldn't drink a glass of Chardonnay with your buddies from the country club listening to this.
I just don't think this has the correct ringtone for this fucking country club.
These people, these lyrics are very offensive.
This don't make any sense to me.
Paul, you're becoming the dad from those Twisted Sister videos. Like, what is this? What kind of music is this?
I love Twisted Sister.
And I'm over here, I'm like, I want to rock.
I'm all in on Twisted Sister, buddy. That's one of those ones I love. Like, I am all in on fucking.
But they have like the same dumb shit, man. There's nothing heady about Twisted Sister.
There's something about it, though. Well, no, because D. Snyder did do some interesting, thought-provoking lyrics. He was saying things.
Whoa. Let's slow your roll there.
Like,
thought-provoking lyrics.
Lounge. Did I just get put in the blast zone again for saying?
No, I'm not putting you in the blast zone. I'm just like, he had some okay lyrics, but thought-provoking? I mean, let's save that for the Bob Dylans of the world, Paul. The Peter Gabriels, if you will.
You don't even like
Phil Collins, at least. Let fucking D. Snyder. Jesus, you're already throwing us off the rails again. God damn it, Paul.
Why is it always my fault?
Drink your Chardonnay and stick your nose up at me. I'm gonna talk about God bless the children of the beast.
Oh my God.
Damn it, Paul.
This song, fuck Joe, this song pissed me off. There's two songs that pissed me off on this album a lot.
Figure this one be up your alley. You know, it's boring acoustic guitar work and some whispering. It's just like Lindsey Buckingham.
Joe, you're not completely wrong. Here's the thing. When this song came on, I went, oh, okay. This is one I'm gonna like. Like, it's the weird, it's the left turn, it's the ballad. It doesn't go anywhere. It's like a minute long.
Yeah, it's like it works like an interlude, but like what I wish they would like segue the songs between them, like on each side of it, so it worked as a segue. Otherwise, it just kind of pops out of nowhere. But like, man, this was just like up your alley. I could just see you like, in your mansion, drinking your $500 bottle of red wine.
Excuse me, it's not my $500 wine. It is my $200 bottle of fucking Johnny Walker Blue, sir. Thank you very much.
You're sipping and going, my gosh, I can't believe the lyrical content of this. It's corrupting the children of the world.
And it doesn't give me whiskey face, but the problem with this song was, I think, because it was, like, usually in a heavy metal album, there is usually like the slow song, and
but back then it was the ballad. I'm just glad this wasn't a ballad. But
the thing was, though, there is a really good song here, and I'm pissed that they didn't finish it. Like, make it a song. Like, give it a week, man. Make it a song. Or again, as you're saying, let me be clear, it's an interlude, because I was like, oh, okay, it's gonna kick in. It's gonna kick in. I'm gonna like this song, and then they whisper, and then it ends, and I'm like, son of a bitch. And then it goes to, oh, okay, there's 3 songs that piss me off. Then it goes to fucking Helter Skelter, and my notes say Paul McCartney's rolling in his grave, and I'm putting that on here right now because that son of a bitch could die between now and when we release this fucking episode. So
Paul, calm down. Don't go all crazy on me right now.
Son of a bitch, I'm gonna have a panic attack during this episode.
Don't make me get the Macho Man meme of him. Don't go crazy on me right now. I still have something I want to talk about. God bless the children of the beast. I think because this is interesting, and I think why you probably this is Mick Mars, his sole credit on here, and I'm guessing they probably didn't want to give him too much. Just like, like the fucking George Harrison situation.
Right. Because this is good. I mean,
he's a good guitarist. I'm not gonna lie. He's not like for everybody, but he knows how to play.
I will give you that, dude. Like, again, I will absolutely. I was upset that this, like, legitimately upset when the song ended where it did, because I was like, hey, this is the left turn. This is the one I'm gonna like, and then I didn't. And there is such, there's the melody, there's a hook in there. Like, this song writes itself. And as a musician, I can hear it and go, man, I know exactly where I would have gone with this song, the places I would have gone, the chords I would like. I was expecting it.
Yeah.
And then it didn't happen. And I was like, that's why I know it's literally say cock tease. This was a cock tease of a song.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's another thing. I like Mick Mars's guitar work on here. He has a very, like, he knows how to make like a riff, like more of like a rhythm riff, you know? Mm-hmm. Instead of like, say, like Slash's, like, you know, Sweet Child of Mine. Like, he can make a rhythm riff and it has like a little swagger to it. I kind of like that. So if you're, again, like, I know you don't like it, but that's one of those elements to me that, like, oh, that kind of pops up for me that I like as a really shitty rhythm guitarist. Mm-hmm. Like, it gives me hope.
Yeah, as it should.
All right, now we go to Helter Skelter.
Fuck this.
I don't know. So I'm on record saying I hate Beatles covers. I don't know which cover is worse of Helter Skelter, this or U2's. I think it just could be two things. Both are at number one with a bullet for me.
Yeah. Both are horrible for different reasons. Yeah. I said this when we did. Oh fuck! What was that album? This Mortal Coil. When we did This Mortal Coil, when they covered Big Star. Yeah. Alex Chilton. And if you're gonna do a song that's like this, that is iconic or that is depressing or is whatever you fucking do when you are covering it, you got to go bigger and livelier than the original. Yeah. Mötley Crüe, the reason why this sucks is they half-assed this. Yeah. When you can't hit the notes, the high notes that Paul McCartney, and getting that rock sound, like when Paul McCartney is out fucking meddling you, you fucked up on your cover. That was my problem with this.
Yeah. I mean, like, instrumentation I thought was fine. Again, it was the vocals, and it was just the vocals. Like, again, the instrumentation was fine because it was pretty on cue with the original, so they didn't really change it up. And again, like you said, go bigger and maybe more, especially with Helter Skelter, go bombastic. Or if you're going to cover a song, do the other way too. Completely strip it down.
Yeah, that's
do it like slower.
I mean, Placebo did that brilliantly with Running Up That Hill by
Kate Bush.
By Kate Bush. They're slow, they're broken down, they're stripped down. I love the Kate Bush version, but I actually think the Placebo version they're both up there, but God, there is a special place in my heart for that Placebo version because I feel like it nails it gives the song a different story, and it's so good. Yeah, make it something like yes, Joe, you're 100% right. Yes, you corrected me properly.
Yeah, just go. It's just like you do, like when Hendrix did All Along the Watchtower and made it his own. Does he give it more depth?
Yeah.
Technically.
Yes, 100%.
You're not gonna like really outdo the Dylan. Like,
or again, Maxwell's doing this woman's work, right? Yeah. It is a wonder. That's the correct way to do a cover. What Mötley Crüe did here, it feels like they got hammered and were like, well, let's just do this because we do it live, and they half-assed it, and it sucks. So yeah, my note is Paul McCartney's rolling in his grave.
He's not even dead.
Well, he might be by the time this episode comes out.
Ringo's got blisters on his ass.
I got blisters on my ass.
Yeah, that was the one song on here I didn't care for.
The one? Oh, yes. Fuck me.
Okay, Paul, quit being an elitist. God, you're up there in your high horse, drinking your Chardonnay in your $1 million mansion. Looking down on us fucking gutter rats who dare to like Mötley Crüe.
Oh, fuck.
You son of a bitch.
Polluting my radio. Go on, Joe.
Oh my God. And Joe made me listen to a Mötley Crüe album. They're shouting at the devil, dear.
I'm going to lose my membership to the country club for this one. Fuck.
Red Hot. You know what? I wonder what this song's about, Paul.
I wonder, but my notes are red hot shit.
I like this song, Paul. I like it.
I don't.
Well, that's again, you're an elitist, Paul. You're the crusty up 1% that's ruining this country.
Yeah,
I'm like the working man. I'm like in a Springsteen song. Paul. I'm just trying to live my life.
Oh, I'm
a beer with the boys
right now.
Just trying to have a beer with the boys after a hard day at the job, Paul, and you're over there at your fucking fancy restaurant eating a $200 steak.
Dude, if I've ever eaten a $200 steak, you could shoot me. Fight for the black shark. See what evil brings. Can't you see we're out for blood? Love from a shotgun. License to kill. Can't you see we're out for blood? The kids scream in fright through the night. Loving every bite with the light. We will blow out our minds with your truth. And together we will stand for the youth. Yep.
You know what I'm not seeing in these lyrics, Paul? All the I's and me's and you's of Porridge fucking radio.
I will give you that.
When Vince Steele's a better songwriter than you have problems.
I will give you that, sir. I will give you that. Yes.
Red hot.
Red hot to the top.
Okay, now we go to my actual favorite song on the album. Is Too Young to Fall in Love. This has because I think you've been pressuring me to talk about justifying why I like Mötley Crüe. You're an elitist who's in his highfalutin limousine trying to tell the working man that I got to listen to fucking Captain Beefheart or some shit. You're just.
You do need to listen to Captain Beefheart, you prick.
You're standing around, judging people and eating pickles and shit. So.
Boiled goose, sir. Go on.
Boiled goose with some pickles, and you're all like, you're drinking your wine and judging me out on the streets of the gutter rats. I like this. This man, I love the riff on this song, and I love the drum interaction with the guitar riff and shit like that. It just comes out swinging for me.
Joe, I'm gonna steal a page from you. If I could get an instrumental version of the song, I'd be super fucking happy.
Yeah, because you mentioned that when you messaged me, from
my tower
phone and
from my high tower.
And you're like, you better Venmo me for my time on this, Joe. And I'm just like, I'm working in a small.
Listen, man, I could be trading hot stocks right now, but instead I'm talking about Mötley Crüe. I was excited when I heard this song
because that instrumental of it.
It's so fucking good.
They're firing on all cylinders, man.
They
as
are,
a band, which is there's only a few times I would say them as a band are doing that, where they're really gelling. I like certain songs or whatever, but this is holy fuck, this kind of shows they could play well.
Yes. Joe, 100% yes. I was excited. Again, when this one came on, the first time it came on, I was like, all right, here's a song I can like. And then fucking Vince Neil opens his goddamn whore mouth and
I think you have a problem with
all
the
over
vocals. Is it the vocals of this?
I think it's the vocal.
Because the instrumentation and because a lot of these are kind of really catchy songs. I think if it was a different vocalist, you might.
I think I could.
But you would probably, I think, enjoy it a lot more if they had what would a good Elaine Staley or something?
Yeah, that'd be a good one. Yeah, that'd be a good one. Or
with a little more range and depth to the voice.
I think so. Yeah, or even I hate to say it, but even a Great White or a
Yeah, well, that guy. Even though he killed all those people in that club.
He did.
Well, I don't know. He didn't kill it, but the show killed a bunch of people in that club. But yeah, he had depth. There was a thing with these 80s bands, they're butt rock, and as I get older, I think it was after I broke down and became a Phil Collins fan, Paul, that I just kind of stopped really caring and tried being too judgmental of music and just kind of opening my perceptions a little bit more. And so a lot of that 80s rock, I'll give it a listen. and like sometimes I'm really just impressed by the vocalist or the guitarist. Like there's elements in these things that I'm just like, holy fuck, man.
Dude, you could probably put Bret Michaels on this, and I would like it more.
Yeah, David Coverdale.
I was gonna say David Coverdale, Robin Zander. I mean,
Robin Zander. Holy fuck!
Could you imagine Robert Zander with the rest of the fucking Mötley Crüe?
If he was the vocalist on this album, man, fuck.
I would have been all over it. You know what, Joe? You're 100% right. You nailed why I don't like this album.
Yeah, it's Vince Neil. Yeah,
it's Vince Neil. It just he kills every song for me.
Yeah, I can definitely see that, Paul. I'm glad we kind of like maybe I thought like maybe I was fucking insane. Like I think we found the root of the
I think we did.
Yeah,
I really think
it's fucking.
It's so good.
That swagger in that.
It does, and that riff and that hook are so good. Like I was going to go on a giant tirade on the song, and I'm glad you took me out and like calm me down because I was going to rant.
Settle down, Paul. Don't go crazy on me.
Don't go crazy on me.
Don't go crazy on me.
But no, we came together like the mega powers on this one, dude. You nailed it. It is Vince Neil. I think that is truly why I can't appreciate the Crüe. And that's a damn shame because you're right. I mean, I do. If I could get an instrumental, like a karaoke version of the song, I would 100% put that on a playlist.
Dude, I'd like to hear you do a karaoke of this song. See how you would approach the vocals. I'm serious because you can sing, so I'd like to see how you would interpret it.
Well, maybe at some point I'll do like an acoustic rendition. I'll put it up for maybe when you get to 100 followers, I will do that.
How's that? You heard it here, folks. 100 followers. Otherwise, Paul goes into the blast.
Blast zone.
I can't believe you in the blast zone, Paul.
Yes, 100 followers. I will do an acoustic cover of Too Young to Fall in Love. 100%. Yeah, it's not a difficult guitar song. It's not a difficult song to put together. No, I could do it.
And that's the thing. It's like a lot of my favorite songs aren't overly complicated when you get down to bare minimum.
Yes.
Like I do I'm like you. I like a lot of that prog rock stuff and more complicated, but sometimes simple is just the best.
It is. It is.
Because I think a lot of people just start overthinking shit, and it just kind of starts meandering like a Grateful Dead song.
Kinda, yeah.
So now we go to Knock 'em Dead, Kid, Paul.
I just said I want to be dead at this point.
Well, now you know how I felt during the whole, traveling boot band or whatever.
Dude, we both wanted to
die.
be dead.
Listen to that album.
Dude, we both wanted to die listening to that album. All right, let's not even. That was a half hour long. Fuck.
Oh god.
And we made it almost.
This one's not too long either. It's only 33 minutes. So
yeah,
I like it. It's it's a fucking rocking song.
To me, it felt like filler, and I was like, I already hate it, and I'm like, this is like terrible filler. I'm coming your way now. I'm supercharged. I might just explode in your face. I'm black. I'm primed for hate. Knock 'em dead, kid. The blade is red. Okay, whatever. Yeah, you want to fight?
A lot of like bloody, violent imagery in these.
Yeah, they just want to fight and fuck.
Sensibilities, Paul.
Yeah. It's fight and fuck with them, and knowing what you told me about them and the crazy shit they did backstage, it makes sense. Vince Neil had a thing.
Did you have to console your good friend Tipper Gore about the upsetting lyrics?
I had to show her in the doll where the song hurt me, Joe.
Oh God. Oh. Now, Paul, this is a real enigma of a song because I really don't understand it. 10 Seconds to Love. Can you explain this to me? So
my notes are with 10 Seconds to Love was, I wish this was a 10-second song. You're my 10-second pet. Touch my gun, but don't pull my trigger. Let's make history in the elevator or lock the doors. Shine my pistol some more. Here I come, just 10 seconds more. Joe, I don't know. This is really hard.
I don't get these heady lyrics.
Yeah, I mean,
here's the thing. There's another thing I love about Mötley Crüe. They're unabashedly Mötley Crüe. Like, you know exactly what you're getting with this band.
Yeah.
Like, they're not trying to be something they're not.
Nope.
There's a little something refreshing about just fucking bands just being that blunt about it.
It's no different than Kiss and Love Gun, dude. Come on.
Oh, yeah.
But no, we had to do songs from The Elder.
I stand by that decision, Paul. We had to do the album where the demon cried.
I agree. Fuck. God damn it, we're off the rails again. Get back on track, bro. Come on, motherfucker.
Right,
was it too hot for you? Did you fire this round?
Oh, God, Paul. Look, I'm sorry you can't handle the cerebral angle of Kiss, Paul. Figured that one would be up your alley.
Yeah, me and the boys at the country club, we sat around for 5 hours discussing the merits and what this song could possibly fucking mean.
You and your book club where you eat pickles and shit. I don't know what you do.
Boiled goose, bitch. I keep telling you that.
Don't flaunt your wealth at me, buddy. I'm like a Springsteen song.
Dude, I was smacking the face with the money like I'm the $1 Million Man and you're Virgil. Let's get moving.
I don't understand that reference. Anyway,
Yes,
we go
exactly,
to the last
you do.
song, Danger. Now it starts, this was not my favorite because I think it started in a way that I was hoping it would continue with that like more down,
Yep.
slower guitar riff.
I thought it was going to be a good outro. Yep, absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, I don't hate it, but I just wish it would have been different.
So
There was like that promising with that opening riff, like
yeah, it was again. There was the opening riff where I thought, okay, this is something I could like, and then it goes somewhere else, and then Vince Neil opens his fucking mouth, and my notes literally say, "I wish this was Kenny Loggins' Danger Zone."
now you're making fun of Kenny Loggins.
No, I'm not making fun of Kenny Loggins. Dude, don't you worry about me. I'm all right. Kenny Loggins is all right.
You guys drinking your Chardonnay and eating your pickles and telling,
At the
telling
golf club.
everybody their musical tastes are dire. You fucking pickle eater.
It's a goddamn boiled goose.
You fucking elitist, Paul.
Dude, it's called sous vide. Fucking try cooking once. Had wild
Oh,
dreams.
God, look at Mr. I have a stove. God damn it, Paul.
Dude, it's all you need is
Check your
two boiler
privilege,
plates,
Paul.
man. That's all you need. A
your
fucking
privilege, Paul.
Ziploc bag and a boiler plate. It's fucking, you don't need a
Oh,
stove.
now he's telling me to buy a boilerplate. Jesus Christ, Paul. Get it to fucking together, man.
Dude, I'll teach you how to ghetto cook. It's fine.
Yeah, what's ghetto cook for you going to the fanciest restaurant in town?
Dude, just because I went to a Brazilian
Oh.
steakhouse this weekend doesn't mean you have to fucking hate me.
Light your cigar with like $1,000 bill. Oh, you fucking elitist, Paul. Your true colors showed in this review.
I always come out looking like shit in these fucking reviews because of you, gaslighter.
Fucking man,
All right, Bruce. Had wild dreams, walking the streets. Hell, we were young. We never looked back. Okay, shut the fuck up, Vince Neil. You're like 12 when you're writing this. So we took our dreams, ran like hell, lived our youth from the wishing well. Me and the boys made a pact to live or die, never turn back. Okay, blah, blah, blah. Then my best friend died, lost my mind, made me hate. Okay, lyrically, there is a thing
things
here.
like people in their early 20s are actually going through, the bros thing, and like everybody's like fucking life's changing, Paul. That's what this song's about.
I actually agree with that. I mean, David Bowie had a much better song about it, but that's
everybody,
everybody had a better song about it.
Let me guess, Dee Snider, your golden boy of 80s hair metal, probably had a better song.
He probably did.
Fucking elitist.
If I didn't have dead air, I'd find it.
Son of a bitch.
Son of a bitch. Yeah, it's just, again, not great. You're exactly right in terms of you and I both thought the song was going in a different direction. It went another way. I didn't like that direction. And then again, Vince Neil has to open his fucking whore mouth and it ruined everything for me. So, there's that.
Yeah. Man, just looking down on us working folk, aren't you, Paul?
Listen, pleb,
Just a
it's
real
not my
son of a
problem.
bitch, aren't you?
You guys don't understand fucking art. That's not my problem. No.
Oh my God. So that wraps up Shout at the Devil by Mötley Crüe. An album I was surprised. Again, I was surprised I liked it. And yeah, I was overjoyed that you hated it. Because now I know your Achilles heel. Next time you want to talk about fucking wrestling, I'm just going to find a hair metal band to listen to.
God damn it.
This was a...
Winger's coming. I know it. Go on.
It was, you know, the hoity-toity people like you panned a lot of it, and it came out because, you know, it upset your delicate sensibilities. But it did go on to sell in the United States 4 million copies.
Here's the thing.
300,000 in Canada and 35,000 in Australia.
I'm not...
Oh, here we go. He's going to judge his people.
I no, I'm fuck. Let me come down from my fucking
You're like
high
that-
tower.
You're like that Maitre D and Ferris Bueller, just looking down on us all.
Fucking. I feel like what's his name? Ted McGinley from fucking Caddyshack, where the fuck his name was.
Yeah.
No, Ted McGinley was from something else. But anyways,
I think it was this character's name in Mary Tyler Moore, wasn't it?
yeah, I think that maybe it was. But anyway, so Ted, coming down from my fucking high tower as I smoke my fucking poor man cigarettes.
Yeah, it's probably like $300 a pack, and you're all like, it's all wrapped in gold.
I think the gold leaf makes it taste better. So I get it. I get why this sold. And I understand the time. I understand the history. 1983, this was wild. This was, people were freaking out. I get it. Shout at the Devil in 1983 America, middle America. Holy fuck. This is what you played to piss off your parents. That is not lost on me. That is absolutely not lost on me. By the time the Crüe came around for me, I think it was already came and gone, and I never got that from it. But there was other things that already come along for me that were not necessarily edgy, but just allowed me to have kind of that in a different way. So I get, like, I'm not taking away people's experience of the Crüe. I'm not sitting here and doing things. You and I talked about it. We nailed why I really don't like it. If Vince Neil, if they had gotten a different frontman, I probably would have been all over it. You know, and I'm sure it would have became another Van Halen thing. People would have been like, well, the Vince Neil era and the whatever era. Sure. Okay, cool. It's just like Black Sabbath. Some people really like the Ozzy Black Sabbath, and there are people, which I don't understand, prefer the Dio. And I like a Dio, but I prefer, you know, there would have been that conversation. The three guys are good. Vince Neil does have a voice in here. I'm not taking that away either. I'm not saying he's a bad singer. What I'm saying is, it goes back to the Bangles. Really weird that like a lot of these albums we're picking kind of coincide with the same issues. You really loved the vocals of oh fuck, Joe, what's her name? My brain's burnt. But you prefer her, Hoff's. You prefer her vocals over everyone else.
Yeah.
And I think when I listen to what the Crüe musically is doing, and then you throw Vince Neil on top of it, it just never became Snapper in wine jelly for me. It never.
Oh, God, we are the fancy. Jesus Christ, Paul. Put your bougie bitch stuff back in your pocket.
Okay, so I literally had to say, I had to say, where that came from. I would never eat it. I was actually watching Iron Chef Japan last night because it's
Here
free
we
on
go.
fucking Amazon. So I love that show. So it just happened to be like a very bougie thing. It just never gelled. It never became cod roe ice cream. It just, yeah.
For me, the working man, my dessert is like one of those push pops with orange sherbet in it. But yeah, you go. You tell me about your $5,000 ice cream, Paul.
And Tampico in a fucking solo cup, sir. That's what you drank it with. Yeah.
Don't you judge me.
Dude, we all did the Tampico in our college days.
I have no nostalgia with this album. By the time I was getting into music in the early to mid 90s, Crüe was already long gone. Like they were not really. That was not the music I'm growing up. I'm coming into my teenage years with. I had that bullshit grunge shit fucking all over the place that I didn't.
And
like
post grunge, that was terrible.
Yeah. So I don't have. It was just truly like one of those moments where like when I picked this album because he fucking broke my brain with Hulk Hogan and his fucking sushi. Fucking only going to bougie tastes. And I should have seen it there, Paul, when I had to tell you that strip clubs have fucking food. I should have known that you're one of those bougie bitches who go to like the strip clubs that don't have a buffet. You son of a bitch.
Yeah, I prefer my strip clubs not give me food poisoning.
Here we go. Here we go. Paul doesn't want food poisoning.
I'll be.
Yeah, we can't upset the delicate genius, Paul. Yeah. Paul.
I can't believe I'm about to admit this in this fucking episode, but okay, maybe I am a little bougie because I remember going to a bar and them having a taco bar in there for free, and I was like, I didn't know bars had taco bars for free. Like, what the fuck is this? Where am I?
I think the only listeners who would relate to your problems, Paul, would be like Elon Musk.
Dude, we bro fuck, man. We dock.
That you do with his weird fucking melted face eyes and shit.
Yep, me and Elon Musk dock.
His ruddy face. He probably doesn't even drink, so I don't even know why he has a ruddy face.
Dude, because he drinks and he lies about it.
Fuck.
So, Joe,
you're showing your true colors this whole review, Paul. The listeners
are coming
sitting
out
there in shock at your. I mean, yeah, you're like Bush at that gala when he's talking about the haves and the have-mores. Just fucking, I'm embarrassed, Paul. You embarrass me. But you wouldn't care because I'm just a working man,
Yeah, I was going to say, you'd never vote for my candidate. You could go rot in a gutter, sir. No. Fuck, Joe. Hulk Hogan really did ruin us.
Broke us.
He broke us real fucking bad, bro. Brother.
So, Paul.
Would
you recommend this album?
God, would I recommend this album? I mean, no, Joe, I would take Porridge Radio over this, and I recommend. No, I'm not. No,
you would take Porridge Radio over this.
I would take Porridge Radio.
Not only are you like rich and a bougie bitch, Paul, but you got a fucking 10 ear.
I would take the UUUs, the IIIs. I will say, however, this is still not as bad as Saint Anger because I like the instrumentation. So it is not Saint Anger level bad. This is better than Saint Anger. I will give it that, but I'm not recommending it. Joe, I take it you would recommend this album?
Yeah, I love this album. It's really good. I think people would like this, Paul. Obviously not in your neighborhood, but
to people like you and people that like this album,
I'm not
out of my neighborhood,
Paul. So
yeah, I got my gated community taking care of me. You fuckers keep out.
I'm surprised, your neighborhood security didn't like check on you when they heard these raucous lyrics coming out of your little radio.
All I'm gonna say is
Bose radio, your $5,000 speaker.
When the purge happens,
Mr. Muad'Dib,
we'll be listening to Mötley Crüe dying on the streets. That's all I'm gonna say. No, yeah, I get it. I mean, again, I understand it better now. Having us gone through this, having us kind of figure out why I don't like the Crüe, I understand it better now. But yeah, I really do. I can't. The Vince Neil kills it for me. It really, really does. So, Joe.
Yes, Paul.
Do you have any plugs, sir?
No, I don't.
Okay. Do you have anything else you'd like to discuss with the audience before we move on to what we're going to do next week?
No. I mean, the audience has had enough of you abusing me with your rich man snide remarks.
Well, Joe, you brought this on yourself, sir. We are digging in. We're moving ahead. We're getting out. We've been stuck in the 80s for a while.
Oh, fuck.
Sorry for the noise there. We are going up to 2016. And we are switching genres, sir. We are going to get away from the rock a little bit. We've been hanging out in rock territory far too long. And we are going to do one of a mixtape from a rapper that was listed in the top 40 best rap albums of 2016. We are going to do the debut mixtape from rapper Cupcake. And her album is Cum Cake.
All right.
CUM space CAKE is the album. By Cupcake, spelled CUPCAKKE. With such songs as Vagina, Deep Throat, Darling, Juicy Coochie, and Pinocchio.
Yeah, are you trying to have me shocked or what? I just rocked out to shout it at the devil, Paul. You're not going to shock me with this.
I'm not shocking you, buddy, but I will tell you that it is. Just keep in mind when you're listening to it, it did make the top 40 best rap albums of 2016.
That's not a high bar in this day and age, Paul.
It is not a high bar, sir.
I think the last rap album I liked was "To Pimp a Butterfly" by Kendrick. So
that was good, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was real good.
Yeah, that was really good. That was really good. Yeah, it's been a long time since I've really gotten into a good rap album, but
well, this won't be it, Paul. You can keep trying.
Oh, you might love this album. You might.
I have said, as we found out with Mötley Crüe, Paul. You don't know with me. I don't know.
I don't know with you. I don't know with you. You
were shocked with Mötley Crüe.
I was absolute when you were telling me you liked this album. I legitimately, again, I feel better now because I really felt like I'm missing something here. Like, what am I missing? Why do people love the Crüe? And again, you just like you said with other reviews, you give me an instrumental of this album, or you put someone else on the lead vocals, I probably would have loved the hell out of this album.
Yeah, hell, even an Axl Rose or something.
Something. Cinderella, for fuck's sake.
Sebastian Bach would have been a good
Bach would have been a good one, dude. So yeah, I mean, it's just it's what it was. It's Mr. Big could have been on this, and I probably would have liked it more.
Yeah, I might like Cupcake. You never know. You just don't know with me, Paul.
I don't. I did not expect you to hate Lindsey Buckingham like you did.
Yeah, I mean, I have all sorts of weird left turns in these reviews.
You do, and unfortunately, this album did not have enough left turns for me to enjoy it.
Yeah.
So,
I understand why you don't like it, Paul. I understand why people don't like Mötley Crüe. That's fine.
Yeah, I appreciate it, and I do understand it better now why you do. Which, again, I feel a lot better about because I do try to understand things that I don't get. I really, really do. And I actually get bothered when I can't understand the psychology or the reasoning of why someone is into something that I'm not. Like, normally I'm really good at seeing it, but with Crüe, I just didn't get it. And it literally took you and I losing our fucking minds for me to be like, oh my God, I fucking get it now. Like, yeah, there is a there, but it's just the there is ruined for me by a component. Like I said, it's no snapper and one jelly.
It's not a genre of music you're a fan of to begin with, so like it just, you know, it's fine. We got through it. We got through it, Paul.
We did. Thank you for holding my hand and taking me down buttlock land.
Hey, anytime, buddy. Just don't make me throw you in the blast zone.
The blast zone. Yeah, no, I highly appreciate it. Like it's like, again, I don't like not understanding things, and it's just one of those things where I really feel like I should be able to understand or at least see a point of view on something. And
our listeners' thoughts on this episode, how we, you know, wildly polarized views.
I would love to find out what people think about that. So yeah, when you guys are listening to this, go to the pod down. If you're listening to it on SoundCloud or whatever, go to the pod down on YouTube and leave us some fucking comments.
Yeah.
You know, please. I mean, I would love to know this, because I think this is, I don't think this is our most polarizing album that we've ever done.
So far. So far.
Next week could be.
As far as I know, the next polarizing thing is going to be like weirder. It's gonna be like something like considered a genuine classic, and one of us is just gonna fucking hate it.
Oh, it's very, 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 very possible. Very, very possible. Very, yeah, fucking, yeah. So, I mean, by all means, guys, reach out to us. Let us know your thoughts on that, because again, I understand. I'm still not a fan. Mm-hmm. So, yep. So, all right, Joe. Well, that was an interesting, like I said, road down butt rock land. We
got to cover all sorts of music, Paul.
We do. No, I'm for it. I just, the goddamn crew. So, yeah. All right, Joe. Well, do you want to take us out?
What? No.
Did we love you? Did we hate you? Do you even care? Yes, you did. We're the best damn review team out there. How did we rate your album?